So to do the aura analysis, you've got the resonance analysis and the aura analysis. We're going to click on aura analysis.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to search for Guy's name. So we're going to do a session. Here he is. We're going to click on his name. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to record his aura. So we're going to click on record aura. And it literally takes 3 seconds.
What actually happens when you click that button?
It's recording so we have the cell, the body, and then it's recording those energetic fields.
So the app is connected to me through through all the details in the client record. It knows who I am. It locates me in the field, and it connects with me and reads me in real time.
That's correct.
And when you press that button to read the aura, how important is it what condition you're in?
It will take you as you are, because if you are, well, we're not doing the analysis as such, but it's just taking you as you are, and then you do the focus and intention later.
So the person who you're doing it on, it doesn't matter what condition they're in, because it's addressing them as they are now. What about the person who's pressing? It might be yourself actually, but the person who's pressing the button, do they need to be in a particular state, or do they just press the button and could they be reading their text at the same time or something like this?
Yeah, well, with all therapies, you're not going to be giving a massage and reading a book at the same time or on your phone. You're going to be present with every kind of a session. Yeah. So with all therapies, you have to be present. Yeah. I
always think that for people who do heartfulness meditation, for example, you're probably very familiar, if you've been doing it for a while, with this presence in the heart, this beautiful presence in the heart that becomes a bigger and bigger part of your life. And so if you can just focus on that and just be present and aware of that, that's a really powerful way to be in a state of mind and a state of being that will optimize whatever happens during this work. Yes,
totally agree. Yeah, with all stages, if you're doing a session for somebody remotely, you can do it through Zoom. You can do it through Messenger. You don't even need to be in contact with them. You can do it just sitting on your couch. But again, you want to be present. You don't want just to press the button. It's really important that you're centered and present as well. So here you can see a little picture of all the different colors. And if you touch on the top right hand corner, there's 3 lines. We're going to click on that and you will see a graph. And you can see that the total and all the different chakras. Now, the total is not an average of the imbalances in the chakra. It's more like the imbalance between the heart and crown. It would be much better if the levels or the numbers were more even. That's what you're looking for. And of course, the higher the better. The higher the number, like 98 is really high, 93 is high. But because there's the heart is kind of on the lower end, like that's pulling everything down. So that's why the total is 41. Here you can see underneath each chakra, there's like a little tick box, and you can untick that box if you want. Or you can choose to do a further analysis on a different one. So you could just actually choose to just do one if you wanted to.
How would you choose? I mean, how does the system choose? Does it choose 3 at random, or?
Well, the system chooses the 3 lowest.
Okay.
If you wanted to choose, that would be your guidance that you wanted to work on your throat chakra or whatever it was that you wanted to work with. But the system will automatically choose for you. And it'll always pick the 3 lowest. Now, when I go into interpretation, you can press interpretation. So crown, heart, and plexus is showing up there.
Yeah.
It's showing the heart is 44, the solar plexus is 54, and it's showing the root chakra. Now take note there that the root chakra was not one of the ones that showed up as the lowest. It's giving you the higher percentage. Yeah. I'm not exactly sure why they do that, but it's not always the 3 lowest that shows.
And it may be something to do with the relationship between them. I guess.
Yeah. When you go into the further analysis, often you find that, say, the root chakra is the color green, and it's stemming from the heart chakra. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe the root chakra is contributing to the heart chakra. So it'll be interesting to see.
And this description here, is that specific to me, or is it general information about the heart chakra?
That's general information about the heart chakra. So you have like essential oils there that you can use. You can get further. There's affirmations that you can use. I love life and life loves me. There's more information then. You can click on it. There's general life topic, physical, which organs it affects.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a really good place to go to learn about the chakras, the emotions that are involved with that particular chakra. Yeah. And there's affirmations. So there's lots of good information there. So I'm going to X out of this. And up here on the top right corner, you can see there's 4 dots as well. And you can click on that. And we're going to go back to, brings us back to that home screen. And we're going to click on the cloud with the little arrow pointing down. What that does is, if you want to send that information to somebody, you can generate a PDF. Now, this is the only time that you can do this PDF. You've got to do it now. You can't go back into it later once you've done the aura analysis to do that. So this is a good time to do it. Again, you can see the graph, you can see the picture. And if you click on the arrow at the bottom, it shows you all that information that we just briefly looked at that came up on screen. So we can X out of that again. It brings us back into that place, and we're going to click on analysis. So this is where we're going to do a further analysis of the chakras that were the lowest. And again, if you wanted to choose for whatever reason, you could pick a different chakra.
So we're going to go deeper into those 3 now.
We're going to go deeper into these particular chakras. Okay. So we're going to press start analysis. So here you can see there is a focus statement, and this focus statement can be changed. My aura is strong and stable. So that's the focus. So if you wanted to work on, maybe it's a house, you know, maybe you wanted to clear the house, or if you wanted to work on a specific issue, you can change that focus. And again, with the focus, you know, they're just words. The important thing is feeling, you know. So again, being present and focused on the positive. So do you want to change that?
What sort of thing would you change it to? I mean, you could obviously change it to, you know, something about how you're feeling. What about if you had a physical problem, like your knee was hurting? Would the chakra analysis be something that you could use for that?
Yes, definitely. Again, remember I was saying earlier that like you have a physical complaint, but it doesn't come from there. It stems from your you know, your chakras and your other energetic bodies. So working on the aura analysis will really give you a good idea of what's underlying it. Maybe you're carrying something, maybe it's genetic, maybe it's karmic, maybe something you inherited from your parents. So the aura analysis can really give you a deep understanding of what's underlying and what's in those energetic bodies that you can actually start working on. And with the aura analysis as well, like you get and you'll see with the analysis, you'll get a little kind of brief description, but the work doesn't just stop there. Oh, you can vibrate and you can support it, but it's really about becoming aware. You know, again, going back to that knee, you know, we can store fear in that knee. So there might be an underlying reason that we're not aware of. So it really is a great tool to help us pinpoint what's going on.
Yeah.
So, and again, you can have whatever focus is. I usually leave it, my aura is strong and stable. And I just have an intention of what I want to work on. Maybe it's that I'm having this discussion today with you, Guy, and I want to be present, or I want to be able to speak my truth, or whatever it is. Or if I'm stuck in a situation, you know, there's a relationship and there's lots of arguing, or there's a work situation that I'm not happy with. And, you know, you can put a focus in that little area here as well. So what would you like to say?
I don't have a problem with my knee. So how about just I feel wonderful?
Yeah.
And why would I put I feel wonderful rather than I will feel wonderful, or I want to feel wonderful, or something like that?
Yeah, well, again, I feel is kind of being present. And if you say I want, that's coming from a place of lack as well. So yeah, you again focus always on the present and the now. Yeah.
And what's just to be clear for people, what's wrong with coming from a place of lack? Because you obviously want the lack to be taken away.
Well, your focus, that's where your focus is, and energy goes where focus goes. So
Yeah.
you want like, and
So
sometimes we're not
you're
even,
attracting more experiences of wanting and lack.
that's it.
It's also, if you
Yeah.
say, I will feel wonderful, it sounds very definite, but it's a future thing. So it means in the future, you'll still be in a place where one day you will feel wonderful rather than feeling it at that moment.
Yeah, present is always the key. Yeah, and sometimes we're not even aware of where our focus is, because it's the subconscious. And this is where you'll see include high negative relevancies at the bottom. If you tap on that, that will bring in things that you're not even aware of, that it's in the subconscious. So it's, again, it really gives you it's a great tool to find what's going on, because then you can go away with that information and work with it, whether with other tools, whether it's your meditation or your mindfulness, so yeah, focus on the present. And or if you're not sure, just leave it as is.
Okay, so we see the three chakras that it selected for us, and we kept them there. There's a number next to each one of them, the 3. What's that?
So the 3 is, when we do the analysis, it will give you 3 results according to that chakra, and you can go in and change it as well.
Okay.
Go to 4 and see. Yeah.
So we'll get 4 from the solar plexus. That's it. And the negative relevancies is when it goes deep into your subconscious, and it's probably not going to recognize some of the results.
Yeah. So here, this is where we're going to center, and we're going to start the analysis, and you're going to go into your heart and and feel and focus on that wonderful feeling. Yeah. And again, it's a good time to close the eyes as well and breathe. Okay, so you can see here, I'll scroll quickly and you'll see a couple. Now, again, depending on the person, this can go quite deep. So it gives you a good few, again, 4 for the heart. Was it the heart chakra we did 4 for?
Solar plexus, I think it was.
Solar plexus. So here we have the 4th chakra, heart chakra, it's 79%. So 79% means how relevant it is to that statement. Because sometimes you'll read it and you go, oh, that doesn't make any sense. And it might mean that you kind of need to, because the database has so many different statements, it can't have everything. So it's 79%, which is quite high relevant to that statement. So if it was
it doesn't mean that I'm just checking with you. It doesn't mean that it's more important for me to deal with that than something that comes up as 35%. What it means is that that's the level of confidence that the system has, that the wording of what it tells me about myself really matches. Otherwise, there might be a little bit of interpretation needed. Yeah,
that's it. That's correct. And with the aura analysis, it's not something I recommend going straight in with, because there's so much learning in the Healy resonance, and with the pink app and the blue app and doing the resonance. I would get familiar with that first before even delving into this. Like, you can go in, but you may not understand it. It does take a little bit of learning to get used to dealing with the chakras, and there are really good handouts out there as well how to interpret this.
Well, there is we're not going to go into depth about how to understand the report today, but in the comments under this, there'll be a link to a really brilliant video actually by a guy called Thomas Carrière, I think his name is, who talks through how to make sense of this, how to make sense of those numbers at the top, how to read the report so that you know what's going on and what's actually being dealt with.
Excellent. Yeah, he's very good.
How important would you say it was to get that understanding of the report versus simply what's called vibrating, sending a vibration of basic therapy to address what comes up?
I think it's quite important. Like, just even if you never vibrated, just becoming aware of it can actually make a big difference.
Yeah.
And I find that alone, the vibration will help support it. But there's work to do. Like personally, I will do a aura analysis once or twice a month because I find I need to integrate it and work with it. Like 8 there alongside the 79%, that's showing like how much work needs to be done on this issue. So it goes from 1 to 10, which is quite a lot. And then there's the potencies, the LM, and that will tell you like what level it's at, whether it's, you know, like physical, whether it's wrongdoing, wrong acting, or whether it's ancestral. It'll give you more information. And again, there's a guide on that.
Yeah, the video that we link to will explain this in a lot of detail.
That's it. Yeah. So you can see there, it's the heart chakra. It's green, and yours is shining in the sacral solar plexus color, yellow orange. So that's showing that there is an imbalance in that chakra. If we just scroll down, there's purple, and that's showing again there's an imbalance because it's a different color.
I find personally, I find that the most useful thing is the present state. So when the first sentence of the present state and the last sentence of the desired state, because that's the part that tells you what you want to achieve. Those two sentences, for me, are the most important.
Yeah, no, that present state is really important. And as well, it can give you some positive ones. So here you see the -71. So -71, that's the negative relevancy. So this is one that is in the subconscious. So this might be one that you don't have. And again, 79% is quite high. So it's 79% of that kind of description. Because some of them were a little bit lower, 77, -77. So there's a few there from the subconscious. And then, is there anything else there? The colors. So again, if it's shining a different color, then there shows imbalance. But if sometimes it will give you a little gift here and there, if the color is the same as what it should be, then it's a positive affirmation. So what you can do here now is, if you want to vibrate those desired state descriptions of the solar plexus is shining in the solar plexus chakra color yellow and the themes and everything that goes with it, you can press vibrate.
Before pressing vibrate, is there any way I can send this report to whoever I'm working with?
Yeah, you can. I would just be very careful when you're sending a report willy-nilly. This is like a treatment in itself, and there's some really, really good information, but it can be very deep, and somebody might be unaware of it or misinterpret it. So I would probably send it only if we're doing a treatment together.
Yeah.
And, you know, I would be going through it with them, because so they may have questions. Yeah, because sometimes it will give like the female or the male or the mother, like the mother might be a symbol of somebody else that's paternal or somebody else that's in their life, or it could be the feminine aspect within them. So the wording can, like, again, if it's like 38%, the percentage, that person isn't going to know that the wording is off, you know, so, and it mightn't resonate and they might pick it up wrong. So if you're doing a treatment with them and you've gone through it with them as a treatment, I would send the PDF, but you can do that with actions, and you show PDF again, and you can send it by email, WhatsApp. There's many different ways of doing that. You can also change it. You can add your own desired state in as well. So you click on the top right hand corner to actually send it as a PDF, or up there again, same as before.
Yeah.
And we'll just X out of that. And again, because I came out of my Healy, I've got to reconnect again. So I'm going to X out. Also, you can add things manually. Again, there's lots of information online on this as well. I'll just show you sometimes you can record the vibration of, say you had a beautiful essential oil that you wanted to vibrate to somebody. You can record the vibration and you can vibrate that as well to them.
I guess this is more advanced, and maybe at the beginning people can just leave this. We'll do videos on this sort of thing later as well.
Yeah. So I'm going to vibrate that. And again, the timing would be similar to Healy's suggestions, unless you had tools like a toolkit, whether you're a kinesiologist and you can muscle test, or maybe you can just use your intuition or dowse, then you can choose a different timing. But otherwise, I would stick to the recommended timings, like 37 seconds, again, for something acute, or 1 minute to 3 minutes for something if you want to work on it long term. And you can just do it once off, or again, if it's an acute condition, it's just that day or however long until it's resolved. And if it's, again, something chronic, you do it longer, and you can repeat that same. You don't need to do an aura scan each time. You can repeat that same vibration, and I'll actually show you how to do that in a second.
Before you do that, sorry, Michelle, and we'll talk about how to find the vibration again. Can you just go through again how you got to this page? Because before we were on a page where there was an action button and something else. How did you get to this page where you can do the vibration?
Yeah, so it's just vibrate.
Okay,
the vibrate is underneath.
So the actions to share it and the vibrate just. And if you did want to change the time, how would you do that?
So you can select transmission Jura there, and it's always set to 1 minute and 20 seconds.
By default.
Yeah, and we're going to actually go with 37 seconds.
And these times they're very specific, but they're chosen according to sacred geometry, aren't they? Which is why.
That's it. Yeah. And you can choose your own time as well. So again, if you're doing this remotely or on Zoom, when you press vibrate, I would actually get the person to tune in and see if they feel something. Some people will. They'll be very sensitive and they can feel tingling or they can see things, and others won't feel anything. And there's no right or no wrong.
Yeah.
So I'm going to press start, and you can close your eyes and you can see if you can feel anything. Yeah. How is that?
I just felt a general lightness. I'm one of the people who tends not to feel intensely these things.
And that's great. And that's there's no right or wrong. You feel it or you don't, and it's still going to work. I often find the people that don't feel it there and then, they notice a day or two later, they see a shift, and it can be a day or two later or a couple of days later. It could even be a couple of months later. That one scan, it might be a couple of months later, and somebody comes back to you and says, oh, actually, something has changed. So everybody is different, and the timings are always different. The most important thing with the aura analysis is that your intention, because you can work, like if I have an intention on one topic and then I completely change it and did a different aura scan, it will be completely different, according to your analysis will be different. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions there?
Once that's done for 37 seconds, is that it? Do you do it again, or do you just leave it then?
Yeah, so I would do it according to, again, Healy instructions. So I would do it again if it's an acute thing that we were working on. So if you weren't feeling wonderful tomorrow, then you could vibrate that again, So
you do once a day until you're feeling better if it's an acute thing?
1 to 3 times a day if it's chronic, and you can do it 6 to 8 times a day today if you weren't feeling great. Okay. So again, go with their guidelines unless you can like dowse or muscle test yourself. And if it's the case that you've done it like according to the guidelines and it's not working, then you can try a little bit longer. Things that are more dense, like if you're doing like a building or a car or a house, they could be 12 minutes. They would be a little bit longer. So again, start with less, and you can always increase. Whereas if you do too much, then you go into a detox reaction. Okay,
good. And you said that rather than doing another scan, we would vibrate again on the results of this one.
That's correct.
How do we get to those? How without doing another scan, how do we get back to these results?
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back into the house here, the home. So the home brings you to clients and lists. So this is where all your clients are stored, and this is where all your scans are stored under list. So I'm going to go to list, and you can see there, you can type in the name if I wasn't in your client name already, and you can see there'll be a pink one, and there could always be a blue one as well. The blue one is the resonance scans, but the pink one is the aura scans, and it's there again. So you could just go back into Vibrate for 37 seconds or however long you choose.
So
and it's
you go to, just to recap, you go to the lists. If there's, you have to, maybe if there's lots of things in the list, you have to sort of find the one that you want. So is there any way of renaming that so it's easy to find?
Yes, you can rename. So you can click on the arrow there and go back into the list. Here, there's an arrow to the right. You can delete it this way, and you can read. It's not doing it, is it?
How about try swiping to the?
Oh, I'll swipe it.
Swiping left.
Yeah, swipe it. Yeah. So you can see, you can delete it or rename it. So I can click on it. And renaming is really handy because sometimes if you're doing lots of them, you'll have a lot. So it's good to rename it so that you can find it easy. So you can rename that just to wonderful and save. Okay. So there you are.
Gosh,
and you do have, and you do have quite a few, because like you'll be doing a scan. And again, when people start out with resonance, they do lots of scans because it is very exciting. It's like a toy. It's not a toy though, because it's really powerful. But yeah, you'll have a list there. So renaming it is a really good idea.
And just to recap again, if I come back into the app, I open the app again tomorrow, I've forgotten what I've done. The way that I get back to this list is I press the little home button. Is that right? First of all, and then I get to lists, and then should be listed all of my, there might be other people's things listed there as well if we're not in my record at that time.
Yeah, so at the moment I opened it up because I've come out of your name, so I have my own there as well. So you can see.
So how would we find mine if it was sandwiched between? Is there a way of searching?
There's a search there.
Okay, where it says search for name. Okay,
there's a search. You can put it in there. I have too many names there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you would choose my name and then just my things would come up.
Yeah.
Okay. Michelle, thank you so much. This has been extremely useful. You can find out more about Heartful Healing and what we do, including the body code, as well as how to get your own Healy, and of course about heartfulness meditation, which I always say is the #1 thing that anybody can do for their greater good. Everything else is about having a more comfortable life, which is great and it's wonderful. But the foundation for your greater good, I feel, is heartfulness meditation. There's information about that on the site as well. Heartfulness is always free. You can get there by clicking the link below. Please also think about subscribing to the channel, and you'll get notified of anything new that comes out.